All right. Hello, guys. Want to show you the auto layout contents in Unity that I created. So this is a tool where the contents inside a parent will be automatically laid out depending on the size of the of the contents and depending on the parent's size. I think this is going to be useful because I also make sure the sizes can be various. As you can see here, each of them has a different size in terms of the horizontal. And also, a cool thing, as you can see now, is it doesn't care what the anchor or the pivot settings are. So you see the anchors of each of the uh, raw images over here are all different, and the pivots are also different, but those doesn't really matter you know to the layout of the contents. I think that is useful because whenever I was using some of the assets or creating my own asset, I found it a little bit annoying to get the settings right. So this is kind of in a two-step process. There's a tool that makes sure um, the um, you know to set the position and to get the position independent of the anchor and pivot settings. And once I have that, it's kind of easy to set the positions of the uh, contents so that it can lay out like this. And yeah, so the way to do it is just to add the contents script like this. It has some variables that you can set. So these horizontal spacing is how far you want each of the contents to be located, spaced between horizontally, and the vertical, of course, corresponds to the vertical part. And the padding is uh, the distance uh, between the parent's border and the contents themselves. So there you go. And let me talk about the code a little bit. So I will share the code as well. I am trying to think about the best way to do it, but I think just sharing it as asset would be the easiest. So this is the code for the auto layout contents. So you have the update that's laying out the children objects. I do in my code that I actually use, I actually don't lay out the children objects at every update. I just put some delay, just to make sure I'm not doing the calculation every so often. And I also have a setting to change whether it should lay out automatically or not. So once I share, I think those will be there. So please feel free to use it. And as for the logic itself, it's quite simple. I get the necessary positions that I have to set based on, so since the positions are going to be set based on the parent, I get the parent rect transform, and based on that, I'm going to be iterating through the children to set the positions of each children. So the idea is I will start from the first child, actually the first child, um, where did I set the first child? Oh, yeah, here. So I set the first position to be, you know, at the left corner um, of the parent, and with some of the petting um, information. So they'll be set like that, and maybe to go in a little bit, this is just saying the center position of the first object should be, you know, half of its width below, and half of its, you know, half of its height below and half of its width right from the left corner of the parent. And once I have set the first position, I would go ahead and set each of the children. So as I move along, I would do the offset to each children. So each time the position will be offset by X. So in my first row, oops, in my first row, you know, once I set the first position, the second position will be on the right. So the offset, you know, usually is, you know, to go to the right a little bit. So in this case, the width, half of the width of the previous object and half of the width of the next object. And then, you know, with some horizontal spacing. So I keep on doing that, and once I set the third one, the fourth one is going to be overflowing to the next row. So this part is that code, and once it is overflowing to, you know, it's going over, I would, you know, have the additional offset for the Y, which is saying that it should go to the next row. And once I do, you know, I set the position of the X back to, you know, back to the left left end. And once I do that, you know, I went to the next row, keep on doing, and then overflow again. Set the sixth one, and then overflow again. Set the seventh one, like so. So there you have it. Yeah, that's how you get this. And of course, since this is the horizontally, you know, laying out, don't really have a good logic for, you know, what the, you know, how the vertical spacing should be if, you know, each of them are different. Oh, that's interesting. But so that's the limitation with the vertical size. Maybe if I have a good way to lay them out depending on different vertical size, I'll probably add that. But for now, if you have an object that is different in horizontal size and you want to lay out them automatically, I think this should help you with your project. Alright, thank you guys. Have a good one.